Okay, question 5. I apologise about this one because it didn't record, so all the answers are already here. But 60 students were asked how they get to school. The table shows the results. What fraction of them did not walk to school? So I'm going to look at the bus because that's not walking. So 15, add 12, add 6, because all of those people didn't walk. And that added up to give me 33. And it says fractions, so it's out of however many there were altogether, which is out of 60. You could simplify that, but I wouldn't. 33 out of 60 is fine. Complete the pie chart. Now, first thing I did was added my total column. And I know the total of, it's a column. The total of this row here is 60 because it tells me that in the question. And I'm going to add in a row underneath, and that row I've called angles. Okay. So I know that the total angles in a pie chart around the point is 360. So I need to find my multiplier now. What have I times 60 by to give me 360? Well, I know it's times by 6, but if you didn't, you could do 360 divided by 60. So my multiplier is 6, and what I've done there is just times everything by 6, and that gives me my angle. I haven't got the protractor with me, but once you've got your angle, make sure that you write it on here. So the bus is 90 degrees, and we label the section as bus. Okay, question 6. Amy and Lily share some money in the ratio 4:3. Now at the moment that's A/L and that's 4:3. So what fraction did Lily get? Well, Lily got 3 parts out of how many altogether? 4 plus 3 is 7. Therefore it's 3 out of 7. Rosie and Dan share some sweets. Dan gets a quarter of the sweets. Write down the ratio of the number of sweets Rosie gets, the number of sweets Dan gets. Now what I've done is I've said Dan gets a quarter, but I'm going to say that slightly different. I'm going to say Dan gets 1 out of 4 parts. Rosie gets 3 out of 4 parts. And can you see that just by changing the way I say that makes it easier to draw my ratio? And I always label it with a letter above it so I know which order they want it in. Because if I'd put 1 to 3, it's wrong because it's not the order they want it in. Okay, question 7. Steve says there are more prime numbers between 20 and 30 than there are between 10 and 20. If I was to think about this one, I need to think about what a prime number is first. And a prime number is a number that can only be divided by 1 and itself to reveal a whole number. So the prime numbers between 10 and 20 are 11, 13. Now what a lot of people did here was wrote 15, thinking, okay, 15 is an odd number. But don't forget 15 can be divided by 5 and it can be divided by 3. So if you're unsure, if you write the number down and then on your calculator you can divide it by 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. And if it reveals a whole number, so with the 15, you would have done 15 divided by 2. Okay, so it could still be prime. 15 divided by 3. Oh, it's not prime because it can go, because 3 is a factor. Okay, we then got 17 and 19 that are also prime numbers. Between 20 and 30, a lot of you wrote 21. Now 21, again, if you're unsure of this, you can have a go at dividing it. So 21 divided by 2, nope. 21 divided by 3. Okay, 21's not prime because 3 and 7 are factors. So the only prime numbers there are 23 and 29. So therefore, there are more prime numbers between 10 and 20. So no, Steve is incorrect. And question 8. Chrissy drew a graph to show the percentage of buses that go to the bus stop on time for 6 months. Write down one thing that is missing, that is wrong with the graph. Well, if you look at the axes here and really study it, but look at the axes, it goes 10, 20, 40, 50. There's no 30. So you could say the scale isn't linear. It doesn't go up by the same amount each time, or it's missing 30 on the percentages. I've put missing 30. Most of you spotted that one. Describe the trend in the percentage of buses that got to the bus stop on time. Well, you can see that it's going upwards. Therefore, the trend is positive.